What is going on YouTube? It's another night, another adventure, the final show of the week of PopXP. I'm the brand mainframe Nile Scala here with the man, the myth, 11 legend, Mr. Teen Sensation Billy Tucci.
Teen
fanboy, Amanda's husband's bestest friend, Mr. Blevins. Blevins, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Man, doing well. Got a haircut, so
Blevins got a shave and a haircut.
30 pounds of hair. So
fresh.
Yeah.
Did you donate that hair?
Absolutely not.
Can't wait to get it. Oh man.
Oh,
come on. What the heck?
Sad.
Unbelievable.
What happened?
He didn't give me his hair, bro. I'm trying to fill in the parts.
Dude, what's up with that?
I want to have like 2 little Blevin patches here. I look like Krusty the Clown.
Now wants a hair transplant. He actually was talking to me about that earlier today.
I will do it. I have no shame in that.
I know you've told me.
But if you get a hair transplant, aren't people used to you looking at your hair like that now?
Who, me or him? What are you talking about?
You.
Looking like this?
Yeah.
I got to get a haircut. June 1st, Connecticut better open up these barber shops and stuff because I'm freaking dying over here.
Dude, you just go to the marketplace like I did.
I almost did it the other day. I actually went up to my bathroom. I told my wife. I said, Farrah. I don't know if I said that right. Did I say her name right, Billy?
You did not say her name right. Her name is Farrah.
No, it's Farrah. Well, anyways, I went up there. Her. My damn hair. I'm sick of this. I went up to the bathroom, got the buzzer, put everything on. Literally just went like, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, what if I mess up the back? Oh, what if I don't get the sides right? And I just threw it back on the charger. I said, I'll wait. I'm going to wait for this. But you know what I can't wait for?
Same thing I can't wait for. Something we've been waiting for a long time, and she's always been very busy.
Long time. Like, I don't want to
have the honor and the privilege to have someone on our show tonight who I've had the joy of being friends with for over 25 years now. When we had first met, when we were all just hanging around in comics, and I remember seeing her work, and Jimmy, her husband at the time, said, I was looking for an artist for this new book for Tomaway, our first spinoff for She. And he's like, how about Amanda? And I remember he showed me some of her gargoyle work. I think that's what she was working on. And I was blown away. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. This is our Tomo artist. And she's been nothing but a joy to work with. And just one of the good people, one of the most humbling people, especially someone so popular, so dynamic, such a great storyteller. Her personalities and her character designs and character expressions are bar none.
She changed the game, man.
She turned the page of comics history. She did.
Unbelievable.
And she's not bad to look at all.
No at all.
Not at all. Oh, Randy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado or a don't, Fiala gets it. He says, truth. Could we please welcome the one, the only, the incomparable Miss Amanda Connor?
Hey.
Thank you. Thanks.
How are you, Amanda?
I'm very flattered. You guys are just like, my head's like.
Hey.
But we don't lie.
I know. We're not lying. We don't lie about anything we talk about.
Ever.
I'm just saying.
Ever. We all need haircuts, though, except for Blevins.
Nope.
Jimmy's best friend. Look at that. He shines up like a new penny. Look at him.
It was awesome. Very, very weird experience. But yeah.
The chat lightening up now.
And the chat is
Mike Fiala. Karen says, hi, Amanda.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, where's her hat? Says TJ James. Oh, TJ.
Where's her hat?
Where's her hat, Mr. Garrison?
She'll find a hat. I got a hat.
So, Amanda, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be here. I decided to change up the background a little bit. I was like, okay, we're last time I was on with Jimmy, and we were in Jimmy's studio. I'm like, all right, let me go find a different room. Just keep it interesting.
For those of you who don't know, Jimmy and Amanda have the swankiest of houses on God's green earth. It's a Florida home, and it was designed by 2 designers, right? Interior designers, architects.
Well, yeah, the guy who built it, I think he wanted to be an architect, but he went on to become a builder instead. But he befriended architects from the Sarasota School of Architecture, and together they built this place. We call it James Bond's bachelor pad.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. It's fantastic. Well, Amanda, remember last time when you and Jimmy were on with us last week, and thank you so much for that. We really went way over time. And Debbie came up to me and said, you got to shorten your shows. So we have a new policy now to try to streamline our shows. And time does go by pretty quickly. It's already 11 after 9. But we want to try to do 45 minutes to an hour. So we won't keep you on too long. We know how busy you are. And just, I guess in the beginning, if you tell us a little bit about yourself, what inspired you to draw as a child? Like what were you drawing when you were a kid? Things like that. How did we know you went to the Kubert School, but how did we get to that?
What was your journey, Amanda?
Yes, your journey.
What was your journey?
So one of the best reasons that I'm an artist is because there was art supplies lying all over the house.
Oh, really?
They're artists, yeah. They both like markers and paper and paints and pencils, and yeah, I always had access to art supplies, whether my parents wanted me to have access to it or not. I availed myself of everything. So yeah, my dad, hi, angry artist. My dad actually, and a lot of people have heard this before because I always tell this story at panels at conventions. My dad wanted to be a comic book artist when he was young. And in the 1950s, parents really did not encourage their kids to become comic book artists. And that's what happened to him. So he went into advertising. But he's a pretty amazing comic book artist. I should hire him for stuff, but I think he just wants to like hang out with the cat and work on the house. But yeah, so, and my mom's an amazing painter. She's an illustrator and a painter, and she's really good. So that's, ever since I was little, ever since I can remember. And I think what inspired me the first time around was the book Eloise. Anybody know what Eloise is? It's a little girl that lives in the plaza.
Yeah.
So my mom has an old, like 1960 something copy of Eloise, and it's got my drawings all over it. I just like went in and scribbled all over it. So right then and there, I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'm going to be drawing when I grow up. So
is that the one with all the trees leading up to the Eiffel Tower? Like, I think they did like a skit about that on Saturday Night Live.
They might have. Oh, you know what? I think that's the little French girl with the hat, the little French schoolgirl. What's her name? I know
Madeline.
Eloise is the New York version of that, but
gotcha.
Kind of loud and obnoxious. So, so yeah, it started really early, and like my whole family, even my brother is really good at art, but his art form is he builds and designs stuff. So
he's not too bad with the guitar, Wholesale Death.
That was one of his songs.
Thank you. I love that song.
He's really good. He's a good musician too. So
he would ride a motorcycle through New York City with the guitar on his back like it was like a machine gun or something.
Yeah.
Like a backpack.
Yeah, he would go, like riding through New York, like the streets of Manhattan, and with his like helmet on and visor and his like leathers and a big guitar. And the loner. I think he played me Wholesale Death outside of openers. I remember that. Good times.
Do you know the words? Can you sing a little bit?
Can
you sing a little bit of Wholesale Death?
Oh no, you don't want to hear me sing.
No?
No, I don't. I'm embarrassed to sing Happy Birthday to my friends because it's like I'm not good at it. So after high school, you went to the Kubert School, and we have Anthony Marks, who's now the proprietor of the Kubert School, the president, and we have a lot of the students. We're fortunate enough and have the privilege of them tuning in a lot. So is there anything that you could give what could they expect in their first year of the school? Because Anthony's going with the school. They're going forward with the school. If they can't have classes, they're doing virtual classes. And all the instructors are doing it online. But is there any advice
and any kind of any what can the kids expect when they go to the Kubert School?
I don't know what they can expect doing it online, but I mean, when I went, it was everything I wanted. I get to draw all day, hang out with a bunch of goofy, funny people, and and the homework. I didn't hate the homework. I was like, oh, I get to draw for homework.
Yeah.
So I think the best piece of advice. I actually got a piece of advice from Joe Kubert, and he was teaching one of the classes, and he said something that was my light bulb moment for comics was when you draw the comic, pretend that it doesn't have word balloons and tell the story with the pictures. Just make sure that the reader can tell exactly what's going on, even if it didn't have any word balloons. So that was just like, oh, okay, that's how it's done. So that's always been my thing, is to make sure that you know exactly where people are, exactly what they're feeling, and exactly what's going on in their lives at that moment.
And that's what I love. I'm a huge fan of silent film.
Yeah.
And I think that helped me become a better storyteller. I think because the expressions, and it's very prevalent in your art of just how varied and original and along the broad spectrum, if you will, of expressions. Your expressions are phenomenal in your books. I remember what the
about that expression.
There's two thoughts I had. Either he just flashed his towel open, or something was about to come on screen.
Werewolf bunny. That's just terrible.
Now, Amanda, at the Kubert School,
yeah.
Who are some of your instructors?
So evil, just so evil.
That is the freaking creepiest bunny.
Kubert School students, you can do that at school too, and it's a lot of fun.
It is.
It was like that at the Kubert School, yeah.
There's a lot of that.
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Yeah.
I said, like when you were at the Kubert School, who were some of the instructors you had? Was it anyone that you, was a huge influence on you growing up?
Oh man, we had really good I mean, there were Joe Kubert, if you were lucky enough, you had Joe Kubert. He didn't teach all the classes, but he taught some of the classes. I had him. He was really good and really inspiring. We had oh god, I'm forgetting names now. I'm under the gun. There's
Amanda, when you have Joe Kubert, is he more for the upperclassmen, like your third years, or does he do freshmen? Would he conduct freshman courses too?
So I was really lucky. My first year was the last. My first year was the last year that Joe Kubert taught first year students. So I was lucky enough to have Joe for one of my classes in the first year. After my first year, they moved it all over to the new school. It was in the old mansion, and then they moved it over into this big building. And Joe started only teaching second and third year kids. But yeah, we had Tex Blaisdell, and I'm having a brain fart. The guy that did Dondi.
Erwin Hansen?
Yes, I kept thinking Carl Hyacin, but he's a writer. Erwin Hazen. We even had for like guest teachers, we had Greg Hildebrandt and Bill
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a really, really amazing roster of instructors.
Now, when you have someone like Erwin Hazen come in, and you have a Joe Kubert as an instructor, then you have someone like Erwin who has a completely different cartoony style, more news, what are they, comic strip style?
Yeah.
Did you have students that now was a choice like, oh, well, if you want to go comic strips, this is the way to go, or do you want to do comics? And what did you want to do?
I wanted to do comics.
Yeah.
I was advised to go into animation, but I didn't have the patience or, You have to have a lot of patience for animation, and I don't think I had it. But they actually wanted you to try everything out. They wanted you to try out like strip style cartooning. They wanted you to try comic books. They wanted you to try animation. They wanted you to have a little bit of everything, just so that you could discover. You know, there's a chance you can discover you're really good at something and not having, you know, even tried it before. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, this might be my thing. So they were pretty good about making you, you know, try a little bit of everything in the first year and the second year too. So
now, did they help? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, did you, like, as you got to the point where you were about to graduate, and you know, I guess as the years continued on, did you notice a lot of the other people that were in the that were there for the comics primarily? Did you notice them making their way towards like one company other than than the other? Like, did it kind of seem like maybe it was like the early stages of like a Marvel incubator, if you would?
For some, yeah. I mean, there are the probably one of the best kids in my first year class was Lee Weeks. He was
wow.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he was. We weren't in the exact same classroom, but we were in the same first year. But people found their things. A couple of friends of mine went on to do children's books. Billy will remember Anna Maria Cool.
Yeah.
Stuff. She did a lot of greeting card work. So, people really found different things to do. But yeah, there were a lot of people that went into comic books also.
Well, did they primarily push you towards Marvel over DC, or was it kind of equal balance, or was there scouts? Like, I mean, was this where they were there to like scout out the hottest new artist?
Oh my! But I don't remember.
I'm gonna murder the internet.
2 years for graduate.
So how did you graduate, right, from school, from the Kubert School? How do you then get into comics? Old Bean. Hello, Old Bean.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Amanda.
How are you?
I'm good. So far, the show's been a lot of fun.
Oh, good,
It always is too much, and we will get. Jeff gave me the third degree because last week when we had Jimmy for the Hollywood horror stories, it took us 45 minutes to get into
23 minutes to get to the first horror story when you had a guy on who had horror stories to tell.
And then Debbie's like, so anyway, but no. So how did you
quality?
You graduate. You're this young, artist, bright eyes, a big future. Then you go to the big city, or how do you get how do you get in the comics? How does Amanda Connor's Foot get into the door? Because I know as talented as you are, there are a lot of talented people that never get that shot, and you did, and so
it was a lot of actually after right after I didn't actually graduate. I was there for 2 years, but
she didn't have to. Lee Weeks didn't graduate either, I think.
That's right.
Or Graham Nolan. I don't think Graham Nolan graduated either.
They got what they need, and they said peace.
What, Amanda?
They became superstars.
Graham was actually the first person I met from the school. He came over. He was staying at the house next door. He was housed over there, and I was housed at another. And he came over to say hello. He was the first person I met.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
But what happened is my godfather worked for Chemical Color. Do you guys remember? I'm really
wow. That's
you see, you know. When comics weren't colored by computer, they were colored with acetate, like sheets of acetate with either cut out ruby or red paint. And I worked there for about 3 months until I couldn't stand it anymore. Got a job at the Dream Factory, which was an up and coming. People might remember the Dream Factory in Connecticut. And then it was
an early chain of retail shops.
Yes, it was. It was very early, and and then I was an assistant for Bill Sienkiewicz, and
Oh,
and then
him.
oh, that guy. So all throughout then I would, every once in a while, I would do a bunch of portfolio pages and then go into New York City with my dad, who had an office. He's in advertising, so he had an office up there. And then I'd use his phone and call up Marvel and DC going, I'm from out of town and I'm leaving tonight, which takes me by.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can get in to show my portfolio before I have to go? And they're like, the poor editors, are like looking at their watches and going, I haven't even had my lunch break yet. Sure, come on by. So I did that 6 times and I finally got a job. I just exhausted them into giving me a job. So
that's great. Now
There's a lot to be said for that.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people give up.
Yeah.
And you really you have to find it's not exactly kicking down the doors, but you got to find creative ways in.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody can do that anymore because ever since 9/11, they're sticklers about letting people into Marvel and DC. You have to have ID, you have to have an appointment, you have to the downside is that you can't do it that way. The upside is it's having online comics is a great platform to show off your talents. So
sure, you really do have a chance to let your work speak for you now in a more egalitarian fashion than in days gone by. Sure.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that with artists, we have a great advantage of that because they can just look at your art and see it. For writers, it's really tough.
I've heard that, Billy.
Yeah, it is. I think it's tough for writers because, like you said, art, you can look at it in an instant and you can say, okay, this needs work. Or you can go, oh my God, I can get this person a job, within a month, So it's definitive, and again, you have to make sure you can get it done in a timely manner, and
So for writers out there, do your own book, even if it's a web comic. They have Eisner Awards now for web comics. Do your own book and get notoriety that way. Get known through that because it's not
even the notoriety, Billy. It's getting the work done and then working on the network part of the stuff. It's the hardest thing to learn for any creative person, that this is not a meritocracy.
Yeah,
it is about who has the stamina to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many editors at Marvel did you go through? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. The one that finally gave up and gave me a job was Greg Wright. I can't remember. I think I must have hassled him maybe 2 or 3 times. And then saw some other editors, and I can't remember who I saw, but I remember Greg was the one that gave me my first Marvel job.
What was the first Marvel job?
It was Solo Avengers number 12, and it was the backup story. It was the Yellow Jacket backup story.
Nice.
That was my my first comic book, professional comic book work.
And how did it come out? Do you still have the pages?
I don't know where the pages are. They might be at my mom's house because I think she had stuff of mine that was in the attic and stuff. It might not have survived Sandy, and also the house burned down in '92, and it might have gone.
Jeez.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
But we were able to save a lot of stuff, but we weren't able to save everything. So I'm not sure if I still have those pages or not.
Now, if before we get into what took off after that, but you had mentioned you were Bill Sienkiewicz's assistant, and there's the rumors and all that you were Elektra, that you posed for the Elektra book and all. How did that come about, and is that true? Are you Elektra?
Those rumors are true. I was Elektra. I was.
Oh, snap!
Yeah.
So my ex-husband and I, Billy will remember my ex-husband, who actually owns a comic book store in New Jersey, Funny Books, little plug there. He dressed as Bullseye and I dressed as Elektra for Halloween, which might explain, why maybe the marriage went the way it went. But I was, showing him off to Bill. I'm like, look at our awesome costumes. And he's like, oh my God, that looks great. You can model for me. He's like, would you be up for modeling for me, you know, like putting on the costume because he was working on Elektra Assassin at the time.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
that book.
Oh, that yeah.
Yes. So so I did that, and you'll notice like, you know, issues 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe not so much the cover, you know, Elektra is this like really tall, majestic, badass looking Greek woman, right? And like by issue 12, like the last few pages, it's me in a red bandana going, you know, it doesn't look like Elektra at all, but I was more than happy, you know, to be Elektra for that. So yeah, if you look at if you get the Elektra Assassin graphic novel and go to the last page, no, second to the last page, last panel, you'll see me in a red bandana.
I should have it right here. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta have it right here. I have it right in my book. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I have a question for you, Amanda. You know,
Yes.
as you know, as an up and coming comic book creator and as a female creator, did you find some of the projects they were giving you were maybe less popular books or something? You're like, hey, can I get a little better than this?
They were. I mean, honestly, my style had an animated bent to it. I was always trying, you know, like clawing my way into drawing like Jim Lee, or you know, like some of the top artists, and it wasn't something that was my style. I was always trying to like bend my style so that I could get more like real superhero stuff, but it was very animated, so I always ended up getting work, you know, like Barbie and Barbie fashion and, you know, stuff like that. And every once in a while I would get a really cool superhero book. But then, you know, and I feel like this is a lucky break for me, my style lent itself really well to the Gargoyles comic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sort of serious and animated at the same time. So, and working for the Buena Vista guys was really, really nice. You know, they weren't super, you know, like working for Disney or Mattel, they're very, very strict about having everything look the same. But the Buena Vista guys were just like, oh no, it can be in your style. You just have to make sure that the characters are recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, great. So I enjoyed it.
You just touched on something. You mentioned Disney.
Yes.
Now, do I remember a story about you getting really fed up with the Disney approval people?
Probably, yeah.
And something to do with tracing a style guide?
I did. Yes, I did. I was doing the covers to Lion King, and I was really struggling with Simba on one of the covers, and I was like, screw it. And I just put down the style guide and I lightboxed it. And then it came back with changes, and I'm like, okay, now you're just making shit up.
Yeah.
There's a funny thing that goes on with Disney. Periodically becomes a resume mark for people. They get people in, they get their credentials, and then they leave. Right. But sometime during that time, they turn into jerks to prove that they can. My all-time favorite was when we at Gemstone had the license for the Disney standard characters. Mm-hmm. We got this call from this guy who identified himself as the art director, like they didn't have like 800 art directors, right?
Right.
And he was complaining that the logo on Walt Disney's Comics and Stories was too scrunched up. And we're like, hey, it's your logo. We'll do whatever you want. We'll pull, we'll make it wider, whatever you want to do. But it's been this way since 1940, right? And then we get this, he's talking to John Clark, our editor-in-chief for the comics. And he goes, I'll call you back. Never heard from him again. Right. So what was the conclusion to your story?
Well, I mean, it just drove me nuts. So eventually, I was telling my editor, Hildy Mesnick at the time, she's just a wonderful person.
Yeah.
And recently connected with her again. She was really good at fighting for me and making sure I was well taken care of. And she knew that I was sick and tired of, redrawing Barbie and redrawing The Lion King and she, when she got the go ahead to do the Gargoyles stuff, she goes, I have the project for you. And she gave me the Gargoyles book, and I was so happy with it. I had so much fun on that book.
I loved that. I loved the Gargoyles.
Yeah.
I hope the rumors are true about the movie. I think it'd be neat to see a live action Gargoyles movie.
They're supposed to be doing the series again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Even the animated series was great. I feel like they could totally do more with that.
Yeah, we had Barbara Kelberg on Tuesday night, and
Cool.
and she says hello because we told her we have you coming on, and she was saying though that she ran into a lot of resistance and a lot of stereotyping when she broke in because she was a girl.
Yeah.
You know what I
she
mean?
wasn't. Yeah, one of the things she was saying was not super overt, but the type of assignments, and she mentioned Barbie and that kind of stuff. But she also said she had fun in you.
Yeah. And then just the stories, and it's amazing, and it's nice how the world has changed, But she was telling us that one of her editors told her she was at San Diego or some show that when you come to the booth to sign, please wear a mini skirt.
Yeah, but she didn't say that was Marvel.
She
did not say that was Marvel.
Nobody, you know what? Nobody ever asked me to wear a mini skirt, and I'll tell you why. Because I always wore mini skirts just because I wanted to wear them. And I think I still wear a mini skirt.
I do too.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'll wear a mini skirt. But I did it for myself, not for anybody else.
That's the Billy Tucci dress code when someone's like, okay, come on over for dinner. But, all women have to wear mini skirts and men have to have guns or knives.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Nice mini skirt. Check out
and then I get hit in the head with the heel of her pump in front of everybody.
All women should wear mini skirts, but only if guys wear those 1980s OP swim shorts.
Oh, heck yes. White with like some turquoise.
Like these ones?
What? I still wear those in the pool.
I like how
he wears them jumping through that old school sprinkler that just goes left and right. He's really just jumping in his backyard.
I like how he just limited it to the pool. That's true.
They're real short. All right,
Douglas Leftridge just bouncing real quick. He said, "Hey Amanda and Jimmy, joined into show. My support for your pro TV series idea mentioned on Twitter. It'll be the best show when it happens on any streaming service."
I'm so excited for the pro TV show or series when it comes out, but I couldn't tell you when that's gonna happen. It's one of those projects that people keep going, we gotta do this, and then they keep chickening out. So
it has to be done. It has to be done.
I know. I
to make it a PopXP original, Billy.
PopXP original.
We're breaking out. We're going big. We're going big,
poolside Billy on location.
I'll take everyone out with my Olive Garden gift cards, and we'll talk about it. Huh?
Jimmy loves Olive Garden, doesn't he, Amanda? Doesn't Jimmy love Arden? That's what
Frank Thierry loves our Olive Garden.
All right. So what came after Gargoyles? Was it a springboard for you? Did you start getting a lot of stuff after that, or was it still jumping around?
Well, wait, before Gargoyles, didn't you work for Archie Comics?
Oh, that was
Adventures of Bayou Billy?
I'm trying to remember if Gargoyles, Bayou Billy, that's right. Bayou Billy came before Gargoyles did. Yeah, it was before Gargoyles.
Now, how was that working on that? With that it was a video game. You know what I mean? Was it difficult to work on a thing? I mean, did you play the game?
No, really bad at video games. I'm so bad at them. No, they wanted a comic to go along with the video game. It didn't have to really be like the video game. It just had to be storylines with the characters. And Bayou Billy was fun. Thank you for reminding me of that. I totally forgot about that. So that was a fun book. But yeah, that was before Gargoyles. I think it might have been before Barbie too. So, and Soul Searchers and Company. That was another book that I was working on.
That was for Claypool.
For Claypool, yes. And I was doing that during Barbie and during Gargoyles. So, and Richard Howell was nice enough to say, "Hey, I think you can do this," and it, wasn't your typical, girly book, and it wasn't your typical superhero book. Mm-hmm. so it was it was a good book to work on. It was fun. And then but after that, in between all that I was working in advertising, but after that I was lucky enough to get Vampirella.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gargoyles, and that was really fun because that was the complete opposite of what I had been doing, and I was itching. Oh, thank you. Look at that. I was itching to do something really dark and moody and sort of angst ridden, and then right after Vampirella, I did Tomo for Dilly.
Yes,
So,
that was fun.
That great. That was so fun.
Was it easy to work on? I hope it was.
It was great. No, it was fun to work on. It was the only thing not easy about them is those costumes are so elaborate.
I know, and I'm sorry about that.
All of his new characters wear sheets.
Yes, they do. They're like ghosts. They look like Charlie Brown, on Halloween. No, with all the eyeballs.
Oh, it's much easier. I mean, I love the costuming; it's beautiful, but man, that's a bitch to draw.
Oh, I know. I did one commission for one person once on the Huntress, and never again.
Oh no. Yeah. I now that we're doing Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, I changed the Huntress's costume.
Because that's like Jim Lee designs it, and he's not going to draw the whole series, so he's got pouches and all that, and it's like, oh my god,
pouches! Oh my god,
what's in those pouches? What's in those pouches, Jim Lee?
That shark repellent,
and maybe a lighter in case she gets stuck in the woods. She needs. Hey, look who it is!
Now, do you have to get permission to change design?
The average person does.
I'm probably supposed to, but
I'm going to put it over there.
It's its own book too. It's a black label book, so I think I can get away with that kind of stuff a little bit more.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Heroinberg asked a question, Amanda, about so how is the Black Label Harley and Birds of Prey series going? Weird to have Gail Simone's series out at the same time and have a contrast and compare.
No, it's going really well. I love Gail's stuff. I think it's fine, that they come out together. More stuff for everybody to read.
Yeah, there's more. I mean, there's multiple Spider-Man stories and Batman stories going on.
Yeah, there it is. But
where did Blevins go?
He's back.
Oh, okay.
He was having some internet issues, so he switched over.
It's horrible.
Oh my god, he's younger too. Shouldn't you be in bed right now?
Yeah.
I got a note. that said it was cool. So
I'm back, y'all. All right, so Amanda, let's talk Tomo. Enough about
what's this Tomo thing?
Tomo. So Tomo was a series that Amanda drew for us. It interlaced into the first She series, the Way of the Warrior series, and it was a delight to work with you. And Jimmy Palmiotti inked you. I don't know if you worked with Jimmy extensively a lot before that, but could it be some way that I'm responsible for you marrying Jimmy?
Maybe.
Because we had a lot of fun.
Give us the details.
Jimmy and I started working. The first things that we ever worked on together were the covers for Gargoyles. He was inking the covers to Gargoyles. And then we did Vampirella together. So yeah, you might have been responsible.
It wasn't me.
But of course.
So Amanda, how is it? Like Debbie and I, we work from home together. We're around each other 24/7. You guys are around 24/7, but you guys kind of work together. What's that like, and how do you make it work?
We work together and apart. I have a studio upstairs. He has a studio downstairs. We meet in the middle and discuss things. And we sort of talk about story and stuff like that. On downtime. And sometimes I wonder what it would be like to work in the same studio as him, but it might be better that we have our separate spots.
Yeah, have your space, and you have a nice setup. Amanda's got an amazing studio. It's really nice. You got those big windows.
In that setup, what's a basic day like? Do you have a routine day?
Kind of. lately not so much, but he gets up really early. I get up later. I can't function without coffee. He's already fully functioning by 8 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, we're sort of on different schedules. I'm trying to rearrange my schedule to a little bit earlier instead of staying up until 4 in the morning. But yeah, we make sure that we take time off together in the middle of the day, and at the end of the day, we have dinner together and hang out.
Mhm.
So yeah, our days are, we see each other throughout the day.
Do you pretend like your kitchen is the break room?
Yeah.
I hear you got a lot of ketchup and pickles in your house, or a lot of ketchup.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Oh my!
It's from
What?
What?
Yeah,
All right, there you go, buddy. He's only 14 too.
No, not that. No,
Oh, not that.
no. Did you not see that?
No, I never saw that movie.
It was you didn't.
Spaceballs?
Yeah, you
No, I
never
never
saw
saw it. Nah, I
Spaceballs?
thought it was stupid. I love Star Wars too
It
much
was
to watch
so
it.
funny.
Just like I never saw Robin Hood Men in Tights. Because I love Robin Hood, Adventures of Robin Hood too much. And I felt, it insulted me, offended me. And Spaceballs offended me. That's why I never watched it.
It's completely satire.
I understand.
So it's
And
Don't you love satire?
him?
No, you.
You.
Me? Oh, of course I am satire.
Do you even know what it is?
You know what it is?
Yeah, that's like when like you're. It's
Oh,
kind of
that thing.
sarcastic but meaner, right?
No, it's like a joke.
It's like a mean joke, right? Like mommy's
not supposed
jokes,
to be
like
mean.
mommy.
It's not supposed
That's
to.
just
Is mommy satire?
Be. No, mom.
Oh, mommy's sarcastic
Yes, mom is sarcastic.
and mean.
No.
Oh my God.
All right.
Yes.
So you've
Yeah.
got so you've
What was
got
it? Sorry.
No. So I want to get back to do you I have a good question, Jimmy. JC, do you? I have a good one.
I have a good question. My question was, could we get back to your question?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now I
Jason
have
for the
to ask what
win.
question
Very
again.
good question.
All right, so Amanda, like now with your art style, I know that you've worked in varying sizes. Usually a lot of us have traditionally worked on 11 by 17 art board. You've gone smaller and bigger, haven't you? In different stages of your career.
I try different things, just to see what I'm comfortable with. And right now, Black Label is completely different than comic book dimensions. It's actually it's pretty close to 8.5 by 11. It's almost like regular computer paper size. And so that's like a whole new thing because everything's a little bit wider. I have more room to go this way. But yeah, I tried. Thank you for that, JC. I appreciate that. So I'm kind of liking the Black Label dimensions a lot. I feel like I have a lot of room with that. But I tried to go smaller because I thought it would make me go faster, and I don't know if it made that much of a difference. But
Yeah, because you got to focus, right? The detail gets harder, right? Because it's smaller.
yeah.
Now, are you working? Did DC make up any special Black Label sized art boards, or are you using traditional art boards? Are you using, what are you using to draw on?
The Black Label art boards, they have black.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I bet those are collector's items too. To get one of those.
There's a decent amount of Black Label books out, right? I
Yeah.
guess.
yes, there
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Are you do you have any future Black Label books? You don't have to name them, but are you working on?
Just the last couple of issues for Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey for right now. I really have to get on my creator-owned stuff. I've neglected it for way too long.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, when you draw, do you like with your pencils? Do you use? I'd like to ask you about the pencils and to the inks. Do you use mechanical pencils? What do you use for pencils? And then when it comes to inking, are you a brush artist? Are you a pen? Are you crow quill? What do you like to use?
I really like those Kuretake zebra pens, the extra fine. Because I love the feel and the look of a brush, but most brush pens have too much give, and this one is really firm. It's like I can put pressure on it, and it gives me a nice line instead of like bending completely. That's my favorite pen to use is the dark blue Kuretake Zebra pen. You can get it on Jet Pens if anybody's curious. I don't have any with me right now. I would show it to you, but I think we showed it last week, didn't we? Weren't we showing it off last
Let's
week?
just say you did.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But and I do use a mechanical pencil because I am too lazy to sharpen pencils anymore. And I like
right. So do you use the little ones? Do you use these bigger ones that you do have to sharpen, or the smaller ones like these?
I use the smaller ones, like those.
005?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Use 00. No, I think 0.03. And
those are really small.
Yeah. So and then like for like things that for things where I have to like cover a lot of space, I'll go up to a 7 or something like that. So yeah.
Well, to switch the conversation up a little bit, how did PaperFilms come to be, your multimedia company?
That's an excellent question.
That's a really good. Jimmy thought it up. I have to give Jimmy the credit for that. He was ready to start another multimedia thing. Like he had done one in the past with Joe Quesada, Event Comics, but then he was like, I need something a little bit closer to home. So that's how PaperFilms came about. And it's got a lot of stuff on it. Because Jimmy, he's a workhorse, man. He just keeps putting stuff out. He does Kickstarters. He's always spinning plates. So yeah. And
then all of your creator owned stuff you'll push through PaperFilms.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you give us an insight on any of that? That's not too secret, or is it all pretty much you're gonna wait till you announce it?
No, I mean, one of the things that got announced a long time ago that I'm pretty chagrined about this. Frank, Thierry, and Jimmy wrote a book called Captain Brooklyn. So I have to finish that book. I got like 1 or 2 pages done on it, and then Harley happened.
Yeah.
And once that happened, I couldn't, that became my whole life.
That was a pretty demanding machine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, as soon as this book's done, that is my project to finish.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's it like with the whole Harley trip, that when you guys got Harley, did you had a vision, right? That because before you guys, Harley, and I'm oversimplifying it, but she was almost like Joker's abused girlfriend. She was witty, she was fun, she was adorable, and then you brought her into this super strong, independent character.
Well, I mean, and it's funny because she, like Harley, we were actually trying to take Harley back to her essence. Like the previous years, she had gotten really dark, and I think the direction that people were going in with her is that, she's very, very dark and, like sexy killer, which she is a sexy killer, but, it was like dark, sexy killer. And Jimmy and I were like, well, in the very beginning when, Bruce and Paul, had, created her, she was actually really goofy and fun loving. And we're like, that's the core of her personality, goofy and fun loving. I mean, she is a Harley Quinn, she's, she's a jester, she's supposed to be kind of goofy and fun loving. So we wanted to take her personality back to that, but at the same time, sort of, put her in her own world with her own friends. Like, she was having a fresh start. And it was really important for us to have the original Harley do her own thing. And that's really what we were trying to do with her is, she had the personality that she had when she was first created, but she was growing up a little bit and like doing her own thing.
Well, I also, on a personal, I want to thank you guys for allowing me to draw the Harley Quinn story we did. And she was so fun and she was so crazy that she beat the shit out of Hitler in his limousine, but then she drove him so crazy, he killed himself to get away from her.
To be somewhat historically accurate, but sort of like, go sideways with it. So yeah, that's she's the reason he killed himself.
Yeah.
One of the things about Harley, I actually want to take a step back from Harley, because right before that, you had Power Girl.
Yes.
And
the best
I remember getting a call from Adam Phillips at DC saying, I'm looking at photocopies and Amanda, everybody else is going to see the Amanda we've seen all these years. And he knew the same thing that I knew when I saw the first book. I'm like, yeah, what happened then, watching your lines at conventions was pretty amazing. Like, they literally started forming as soon as you were announced as a guest at the show.
Yeah.
and you think it was like Power Girl was?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You had a core audience already. I'm not trying to make like it's boom overnight thing, but it so changed.
Yeah.
Watching the lines for you at conventions.
Yeah.
From when Power Girl hits and then Harley.
Yeah. I feel like Harley was the one that made the lines get super big.
Yes.
I feel like I'm horned now, but I'm just trying to be realistic here. Because we get some serious lines, and it all goes up and down. Like people will go ebb and flow in popularity and stuff like that. But when Harley hit, the lines got crazy. They weren't as crazy when I was doing Power Girl, but you're right about that core fan base. Like, I had a bunch of fans come up to me at shows and say, you would be the perfect Power Girl artist. And I'd always be like, yeah, it might be fun to do. And Steve Wacker was the editor at DC at the time. And he was like, I want to put you on a Power Girl book. And I'm like, maybe. And he's like, no. Think of her as the pro's well-adjusted older sister. And I'm like, oh, well, now that you put it like that, yeah, let me do it. I'll do it, right? And I cannot believe how much I enjoyed Power Girl. I love Harley Quinn. She is one of my favorite characters, but I am in love with Power Girl. Like, she is my top favorite DC character. She's just, I would love to draw that character again in a book somewhere, sometime.
I think it was, well, obviously I think it was a match made in heaven. I had you do it on the Overstreet cover, but it's also, this is the first time ever that the Overstreet covers linked up to form one image.
Right.
What's really cool is if you look at the wire crossing from the detonator to the dynamite, that Amanda and my creative director, Mark Huseman, had to work out a slight difference in the art between the hardcover and softcover because there's more space on the hardcovers. And so it's actually a longer loop of wire between the two, and maybe the knife at the bottom is different too. I can't remember, but you particularly kicked ass on it, and we had never done that before, and it was really funny. I called Jimmy just to brainstorm, because since I had taken over the covers on number 40, I've only had 2 repeat artists. Walter Simonson.
Oh, I love him.
And you. And I called Jimmy just to brainstorm, like, who could do this? And he says, well, Amanda, nobody else. And I go, okay. Because
he's my best advocate.
Well, it's like, well, subliminally speaking, why else would I have called him? I even if I didn't know what I was asking, I knew what I was asking. But that was actually those two were your second and third Overstreet covers. Niall, did we send you the first one?
Yeah.
I just love that. And that wasn't that when you did that and you did Supergirl and Wednesday Comics, right?
Mhm.
Did that was another one of my most fun projects was Wednesday Comics. Boy, that was a blast to do because you're like jamming. I can't remember how many panels it was per page, but I think it was something like 17, like 15 to 17 panels. And I was able to get like so much story going on one page, and it was a blast.
And also not putting a lot of panels in, but not making it bad artistically, not making it look all jammed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been a challenge.
It was totally challenging. Also, I did it true to size. Like some people went way bigger. I can't remember who, but God, who was it? Somebody was doing those pages like 1.5 to 2 times up, so they were monstrous. I don't know how to scan them. I have no idea. But I was doing them true to size, so they were the exact same size as the newspaper that they.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat. I from Overstreet 40, Mark Chiarello, basically 40 through 49, Chiarello had a hand in some cover or another.
Yeah.
And when he showed me in his office, he showed me your Supergirl stuff. I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing there. But
it's that was such a fun project. And if you look at it, when we were doing the Aquaman part of it, at the time I had been watching God, what was this show with Dennis Leary in it with firemen?
Oh yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Rescue Me.
Yes, I had been watching Rescue Me, and I was sort of obsessed with Dennis Leary at the time, and I'm like, Dennis Leary would make an awesome Aquaman. So I made Aquaman. Hi. Oh, thank you so much.
That's Wednesday's comic in it.
It does. This actually has the Wednesday comic in it. I'm wondering. It's out. It's out June 9th, and I'm wondering how they jammed 17 panels into this book. It's going to be tight. Let's see how they did it.
I have the original one. I could bring the original Wednesday Comics book out.
Yeah, it's tight, but it's readable.
Oh, that's good.
It's definitely snuggly, but it's readable. So, but yeah, I made him. I'm gonna find it right now. I was trying to make Aquaman like Dennis Leary. He was my inspiration, and I actually put a gap in his tooth, and I'm like, now it just looks exactly like Dennis Leary. Like, let me see if I can.
Let me make her. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If I can find the panels. Here it is, right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there he is.
That's funny. You know, it's like it's like things that you didn't pick up originally, but now you can't unsee.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking because as it's known, Amanda and Jimmy, they hang with the swells. They go to all the swanky parties and the movie premieres. So, have you ever met Dennis Leary? And if you had to tell him you made him into Aquaman?
No, I just thought he would make her. Well, here was my imagination, like Aquaman in my imagination. Okay, Superman is in charge of Metropolis and the surface world in general. Batman is in charge of Gotham. Wonder Woman is in charge of like the UN and making sure like countries get along and stuff like that. Now Aquaman is in charge of everything underwater, which is what is the percentage of ocean or water on Earth?
75% at least, right?
Yeah.
So he's in charge of all of that. So
Also known as 3/5.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So he's exhausted all the time. He's in a cranky mood. He just needs a break. All the fish are trying to vent their problems to him. So that how I so I thought, oh, that's a very Dennis Leary thing to be, just like needing to vent all the time and just being exhausted and aggravated.
That's a perfect fit. It makes
that really
sense
is
now. It really does.
That really
I feel bad for Aquaman now.
No.
Poor guy.
Something that nobody else ever made you feel.
The dolphins are always hitting on him because dolphins and humans are now.
Yeah.
No, Niall, how are they?
I'm not sure.
Oh God, here he goes.
I'll start like swimming around.
All right, I've got another question.
Yes.
One of the other time I got to actually work with you, we did the book for Jeppy's Entertainment Museum for your exhibit there.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. And Mike Soloff and Mark Huseman put that together, and Mike did the exhibit with you.
Yeah. It was
But I
fun.
haven't asked what it was like from your perspective. I mean, for from ours, it was like a really cool place to have a really cool exhibit. But what did it feel like for you?
It felt like an out-of-body experience. It was just like, this can't be happening to me. This is happening to somebody else, and it was just really cool to have my own like museum exhibit. I was just like, that happens to other artists. It was weird and fun at the same time.
And it had a very nice run. Was very popular, well attended, and every time that we got particularly comic book people in, not just the general public, but they were just blown away by it. So that was an excellent feeling.
That's really cool.
It was an amazing exhibit, Old Bean and Amanda, because we went to the opening. Debbie and I had the honor of coming to the opening, and what a party it was! And it was just a great weekend.
Yeah, well, the opening party was a blast. Mike also had arranged for a wonderful Alice in Wonderland exhibit to be there.
Oh, that's right,
including the lady who voiced Alice,
that's
who was 90.
Oh, really?
Wonderful. And so Melissa Bowersox, who was the president of the museum, put together a spectacular opening night, and Mike busted it on the exhibits.
Yeah.
And it was just, and when you're doing two, you never know how the groups are going to mix, and everybody was great. Everybody was great.
We love those guys. And they were all dressed up. They looked beautiful. Like everybody had these like really cool Alice in Wonderland, cosplay costumes on. It was pretty amazing. And yeah, they were absolutely fantastic.
And the other, like I said, it ran for a while, longer than was originally planned. And what was cool about that for us was we got to do that book. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And people really liked it. And, I missed the museum.
I do too. I wish there was like a way to, I don't know. You always put your head together and go, like, what if they did this? Maybe they could still, but.
Well, I think Steve has got a lot up his sleeve with the Library of Congress. I think there'll be some great stuff there.
That would be amazing, because that would give such a national spotlight on comic art, and he had a whole bunch of stuff, with all the pop art stuff. But what an exhibit that would be!
Yeah, there were so many levels to that museum, and like I loved how each room had its own decade, and of course, I went into this 70s room and I was like, I had that. And my dad went to the 1940s room and he was like, I used to have that. Like every time you went in, always somebody would be going, hey, I used to have one of those.
For the 11 years that the museum was open, the single most heard phrase in the entire history of the enterprise was, I had that. And I kid you not, anytime I was doing a tour, anytime I was just walking around listening to the tours or just listening to people, observing the exhibits, absolutely, far and away, nothing else even close. Oh, I had that. It was a wonderful feeling.
I never got there. It closed before I had an opportunity to go. But looking at the photos and everything online of the museum, oh my gosh, you almost want to just like smash the glass and run.
Yeah, I can promise there was something in there that you had when you were little.
Oh yeah. I'm sure. It's a shame. Well, it's a shame it closed, but like you said, I think with everything that they're doing, I think Jeppy has something up his sleeve with the arrangement that's made. So it'll be cool. He actually, if you catch our episode, he kind of talks about it when we had him on a couple weeks ago about their plans for that. Now, Amanda, I have a question for you. you've worked on Harley Quinn. You and Jimmy. I mean, you turned it around. I mean, you really made her a worldwide phenomenon. What you've done, what's going on. I just read today that there's another Harley Quinn movie in the works, which I think would be pretty cool. But as a female creator, let me ask you: do you think that women do female superheroes better than men?
I think different artists have their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a hard and fast rule. Because you look at I'm trying to think of a really good example, like Jan Duursema is really good at men, and
Mhm.
Adam Hughes is really good at women. So I mean, I also think that you are really good at, like, in general. I'm a female artist. Billy's a male artist. Billy's really good at women. He does really, really fabulous women. But
Thank you repeatedly too.
but at the same time, every day you grow up, you look in the mirror and you see, who you are, and I think your art reflects that. Until you really get good at practicing things and you get better at, the sex that you aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, when I first started out, I was definitely better at women
Mm-hmm.
than at men. If you look at Adam Hughes, nobody knows this, but his men are just as good as his women, but nobody pays attention. So
Yeah, he's
artist.
He's a talented guy. Very, very talented.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. My goodness.
Yeah.
The beast.
Yeah. Like, I think that, like, when you first start drawing, you sort of like draw what you see in the mirror. You draw what you see around you.
Yeah.
And I think it's more common for, like, young upcoming artists, like, maybe in their young teens and, early 20s, you draw what you see.
Yeah.
And then you're at, you get a wider range.
Yeah. Now, do you think, like, characters though should be like, I like superheroes. That's my thing. I just love superhero comics. I love the big bulky characters. They feel like they're powerful.
Yes.
If you don't mind me asking, what's your opinion on that? Do you think it should be exaggerated characters, or do you think, like, they should be more like look like me?
I
Why are you laughing?
I think because you're very bulky. You're very bulked up. Or maybe
Thank
it's the sweatshirt.
He's a big man.
I'm told.
No, I think there's a place for big, bulky superheroes. I think there's a certain amount of people that love writing those stories and love drawing those characters. But what I really love is nowadays there's room for all of it. Back in the 80s and 90s, there was only room for, big muscly guys and, female superheroes that look like supermodels. That's what everybody was looking for. And now, like, everybody, there's, like, all sorts of different art styles. There's all sorts of different character styles. Like, some of my favorite artists are the Hernandez brothers.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can do the bulky people if they wanted to, but
It would be cool.
Yeah, exactly. It would. And I think Penny Century, is a great example of that, because she's a frustrated superhero, but they choose to do stuff that's realistic, and it's just so amazing to look at. So I love it. And I love the idea that there's so many different styles now. There's comic books that have, really animated looking stuff, or almost, cartoony looking stuff. And I love that. I'm a little afraid to do it, but I want to get, I want to go sort of backwards and start doing more animated looking stuff. I want to unleash my inner Chuck Jones more.
Yeah.
But like, oh, are people going to like it? Will it be well received? Are people going to want to buy it, or do they want the?
Have you seen the new Looney Tunes
No, I
on
haven't.
HBO
I've seen
Max?
a little bit of it, but not much of it.
Sorry to change subject, but you mentioned Chuck Jones, and I'll give them credit where credit is due. I've watched 4 out of the 10 episodes, and I'm like, this is like, you can tell like it's made today, but it's good. It's not like what they've done the past like 20 years with some stuff. Like you're like watching Looney Tunes.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
Nile, more like the last 40 years. But yes,
yeah,
I get what
last
you're
40
saying.
years. Yeah. But
Gotcha.
if you can check it out, I definitely recommend it. It's awesome, and just the style of it. It's like I think they modeled even like the 1930s style Looney Tunes, or that cusp of like 35 to 40, like right before Bugs Bunny more looks like Bugs Bunny today. He's got the rounder, like egg-shaped head.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good,
Right.
and the voice actors they have are really close to. Oh my gosh, it's just phenomenal.
Oh, that's
So
great.
Nile, by any chance, were you happy with these?
It sucked. No, I was really happy with it. Very happy. Thank you very much.
So Amanda, are you talking about that exploring that style with another creator-owned thing that you haven't done yet, or that's just a fancy of yours at the moment that you might want to do something?
I'm about doing it with Captain Brooklyn.
So when do you wrap up the Black Label book?
Soon. I mean, I'm getting through issue 3 right now, so I think issue 4 will probably be like the end of summer, maybe mid to end.
And you guys will do a crowdfunding. You'll do like a Kickstarter for it, and you go. Awesome, fantastic.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try out the animated style. I really want to do it. It's something that
I would do it.
I would do it too. I really would do it.
I myself have been kind of falling back into that as a reader and as an admirer of it, is kind of going back. And I think it's because Ty Templeton has been working on Batman the Animated Series comics again. Was it the Batman Adventures there? And I started reading that, and now I'm starting to kind of get back into that style. I think it'd be really cool to see you work on some stuff in that more animated style.
Yeah. Harley dreams in animation. If you open up to the first 2 or 3 pages of the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, it's in that more animated style.
Yeah.
Because Harley dreams, in Chuck Jones.
That's brilliant, though. That's a great way for you then to kind of ease into that style and experiment too.
Yeah. So
That's
I
really cool.
Had fun with those. I mean, I had fun with all the pages, but I had a lot of fun with those first couple of pages. So
very cool. And then I have one question, like an advice question. Now, like we all know your career. You've stayed very humble. You also don't have a huge social media presence, I've noticed. And with all that, as a creator, it's and I'll say, someone at your caliber, the characters you're working on, stuff like that. What would be your advice to someone that's starting to really build up in the industry, and kind of like with the social media element of it?
I'm not on like you said, I'm not on social media that much, and it's for 2 reasons. Sometimes I think it can be really mean, and I just. I worked so hard to get out of junior high school. I don't want to go back, and there's there's a lot of that. And I'm just like, oh my God, I hated it so much. And the other thing is that I feel like I could totally rabbit hole when I'm on social media. I'm like, oh, let's see what this person is doing. And I could tell this exactly happened. My dad is on Facebook. So he's friends with some of my old friends from my childhood. So I'm like, oh, my best friend from high school. Let's see what she's doing. And then, she's friends with other friends, and I'm like, oh my god, let's see what Debbie's doing, and then I'll just start going into this web of not getting any work done because I'm dying to know what all of my old friends that I haven't seen in 20 years are doing. So yeah, I could totally get sucked into social media, and if I don't start it, then I don't have to worry about getting sucked in.
Yeah.
So.
You get so much work done too when you don't.
A lot more work done. Yeah.
A lot more work done. Oh my god.
Very distracting.
It really is.
I would like to be one of those people that posts all the time and posts really interesting things, and and Jimmy's right when he says you should post more art, and people like to see art in stages like roughs, pencils, inks, colors, and I agree with him. I should do more of that, but
you guys don't seem to have disappeared since he bailed on Facebook.
No, he's really good at social media. He's active on Twitter and Instagram. I do like Instagram because it's such a visual medium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you just use Instagram through your phone, right? Or can you use it on your computer?
I use it on my iPad.
The iPad, yeah. See, I have to start doing it on the iPad too. That's why I don't use Instagram so much because I have an iPad. I just don't really use it much.
I feel like Instagram's a lot of work because it's like you got to post your picture and then it change the size, do the thing, post it up, might make my comment, put my link, put my hashtags, put my tags. Where am I going to post it?
I'm always getting critiqued.
like this.
I'm always getting critiqued by my sister-in-law, by Lauren. Because Lauren's like, you could tag this. You should tag this with because you could tag so many things on Instagram. You could tag 50 things if you want.
Right.
And she's like, and she'll send me a message on Instagram that you should tag comics, you should tag comic books, you should tag this, you should tag. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so much work. I don't want to do this.
And just be like, so when are you going to start? And she'll handle your PR.
I did say that. So you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 3 kids and a husband. You think I'm going to do it?
Well, that excuse.
That excuse. But we love them. Love my family. So.
Anywho.
Well, anyway. Well, we're coming on an hour and a half, Amanda.
Oh my goodness. It does not feel like an hour and a half. Oh, you were talking about the Looney Tunes stuff. I don't know if you've seen it, but have you seen Disney's Mickey Mouse?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Are you're talking about where they did kind of like that classic animation style? Yeah. They're shorts.
Yeah, they're like 4 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on Plex, Nile?
I do. Oh, we can't talk about that online.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, and Jimmy, who
Disney
is
Plus,
not a Mickey Mouse fan at all.
That's what I meant.
Them. So that's another. So you guys watch those, and I'm going to watch the Looney Tunes stuff because now I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Yes.
It's so inspiring because I too love when you were talking about the more animated style art. Those arts that have that, and the exaggeration, the push pull, and how alive it looks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so fresh, and I just love books like that. Like we had Umberto Ramos on the other day, and just he's just amazing. Jimmy, what did you?
I don't know, but I'm not liking.
But Jimmy, we have to watch the rest of because we only saw like a minute or so of the Looney Tunes stuff, so I can't make a solid judgment on only seeing a little tiny bit of it. I want to see the rest of it. So,
thank you for being polite. She's like, I just want to see the rest of it. She's gonna get off like that shit is garbage.
So, but yeah, I'll watch. There's no arm twisting for me with watching cartoons. It's like cartoons are on. Okay, I'm in.
It's better than watching the friggin' news. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You're not exactly setting the bar very high there, Billy.
I know.
Well,
they always have cartoons on.
You know what I watch when I'm feeling down? And I might have said this before on one of the earlier shows. I watch reruns of 30 Rock. I love that show so much.
I'm doing Cheers.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Two great shows. I just wrapped up. I rewatched all of Taxi.
Oh, no kidding!
Oh my god! Thank you very much. I just got so hooked on that. I love that. And then I'm gonna hit up Cheers again.
Mm-hmm.
I took a break.
Blevins knows Ted Danson.
I took a break on
Mary
Cheers.
Steenburgen, he's friends with that.
When I finished season 6, I paused and then went through all the Frasers where the Cheers people guest starred.
Oh.
And then went back to Cheers.
Yeah. You know, Frasier really holds up. That's a good show.
Does it?
It is absolutely amazing, and the idea that you can take the same character and put them in 2 distinctly different but excellent casts.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
and get those results.
Yeah.
It's just stunning. And that when they would bring in one of the Cheers guest stars,
Mm-hmm.
it would be so seamless because of their previous relationship.
Yes.
But then when it got to Woody, and he really should have only stayed a day, and he was staying like a week, and they couldn't wait to get rid of each other because they didn't have anything in common.
Right.
Yeah, see, it was just the writing on it was so good, and it just, and the performances.
Yeah.
There's Billy, you like your love of silent comedy.
Mhm.
There's a 7.5 minute segment where Niles is ironing his pants,
Yeah.
and it's probably the most hysterical thing that was on network television in, like, say, 15 years.
Yeah, I love Frasier. I think Frasier's great. I watched Cheers a little, never really, but maybe I'll revisit it.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
you
was like
probably wouldn't get it.
I was like a 5 or 6-year-old, like sitting there watching Cheers with my parents. Like, I love that show. I was really young.
Did you watch The Golden Girls too, Nile?
I watched the Golden Girls, and I also watched that tie-in where he was a doctor and he had the 2 daughters that lived with him. I can't think of the name.
Marcus Welby.
Was that it?
No.
I don't
Is
know.
it Ted Knight, the cartoonist?
No. He was like a doctor, and he had 2 daughters that lived with him. It tied in with the Golden Girls world.
Cartoonist with 2 daughters. What was that show?
That's Ted Knight, who had remember he drew with the puppet.
Yeah.
Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee were on one of those episodes, winning cartoonist awards and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Amanda's art has been on a sitcom.
Yeah.
That's right. So what was that like? Twice.
Actually, yeah. That was really fun. I did a poster for Big Bang Theory, and here we go again.
He's got. Oh, that's a mask. Even
This is who I'm Jimmy with.
Just come on, Jimmy. Enjoy the last few minutes. Look at the teeth on that bunny.
Yeah. Well, I think on that note.
Oh, wait. Empty Nest.
Empty
Is that
nest.
it?
Yes, it
Empty
was.
Nest.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, we've
Thank
been
you,
on.
TJ. Hang on. I'm just verifying through Google right now. Yep, that's it. Empty Nest.
Yeah, empty nest.
Where the evil rabbit came in.
The evil rabbit.
The evil rabbit, and that was it. That's all she wrote. That's a great way to end it, though. Well, Amanda Connor, we think the world of you.
Guys, much.
It's such a privilege having you on. We can't wait to have you back on, if you will, when Captain Brooklyn debuts on Indiegogo or Kickstarter. Oh my God!
It's a demon bunny.
It's a demon bunny. Oh,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much. Make that large. Let me see.
So
if
I would love to come on and see you guys whenever you like.
Oh my God!
That's a pissed off bunny.
Even. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, everyone out there. Niall, do you want to take us out? Amanda, you're amazing. The bunny is evil. Old Bean, good to see you.
Indeed.
It's
Thank you.
Fanboy Blevins, great to have
Great
you
having
on.
Fanboy Blevins on tonight. Had a couple of internet issues, so he sent me a text that he was going to sign off. And again, we had a great chat tonight. If anyone's new to the show, please subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you know when we go
And
live.
click
when
the
we
like
upload
button.
some new content. Make sure to click like, share the channel, share this episode. follow Amanda Connor. Head to their website. All the links are in the description of the show. I guess you could follow Jimmy Palmiotti, but I think you'd be better off following Psycho Bonnie.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah, and Amanda rants a lot on Indigo on Twitter. Amanda, what's your handle on Instagram?
Amanda Connor Art.
Amanda Connor Art. And we'll be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time with the amazing Italian artist Lucio Perillo. And then I'll be coming back on at 3 p.m. with a big announcement for our final perk for the She Return of the Warrior before we end the campaign in a few weeks. We're putting out one last really special perk. And if you guys could join me for an hour, 45 minutes, it'd be great on the PopXP.
The PopXP.
So,
I like that. That's nice. All right, have a great night. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Amanda.